Hello everyone, welcome back to my B&B Today spoiler channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. The bold and the beautiful B&B spoilers for Thursday, August 13th. Reveal that Steffy Forrester Finnegan Jacqueline McInnes Wood will unleash her wrath on Sheila Carter Kimberlyn Brown, while Brooke Logan Forrester Catherine Kelly Lang gets a much-needed distraction. In Monaco, Brooke will fret over the bad news she just received along with Ridge Forrester Torsten K. Ridge and Brooke found out they lost a long-time client because of Logan. So that's given them another reason to fume over Katie Logan Spencer's Heather Tom fashion house. Between that and Fanny Grayson's Elsa Snolt revelation about a Logan deal, everything Brooks discovered will put her in a terrible mood. Ridge isn't happy about what they've learned either, but he won't want to let all this ruin the rest of their Monaco trip. That's why Ridge will deliver a sweet distraction. According to B&B spoilers, Ridge will really turn on the charm, so Brooke won't be able to resist focusing on their romance instead of her rivalry with Katie, at least for a while. In the meantime, Daphne Rose Walton Moriel Hilaire will dwell on her diagnosis and all her baby heartbreak. However, Carter Walton Lawrence St. Victor will point out that Daphne could still carry a child and try to help her see another path to parenthood. Daphne will appreciate having Carter to lean on, so she assures him of her love no matter where this road takes them. Back in Monaco, Steffy will go off on Sheila in a big way now that she's found her on the beach. John Finnegan Tanner Novlin will watch in horror as Steffy unleashes her fury and may eventually admit she came on the flight with him. Steffy and Sheila's face-off will take a stunning turn, so some danger could break out at some point. Could Sheila land in a situation where she's forced to act fast and help save Steffy's life? Whatever the case, the drama will heat up and lead to some surprising results before the week's over. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Steffy and Sheila's showdown will deliver some action-packed moments, so stay tuned to the CBS soap. Monaco just went nuclear, and Steffy Forrester Finnegan isn't sticking around to watch the fallout. If you thought the honeymoon glow was going to last even one more episode, think again. Thursday's trip to the French Riviera turned into an ambush nobody saw coming, and by the time the credits rolled, a marriage that fans have rooted for since day one was hanging by a thread. Here's everything that went down, a postcard perfect getaway, until it wasn't. Steffy and Finn touched down in Monaco for what was supposed to be a dreamy reunion, the kind of trip meant to help them reconnect after everything they've survived together. Instead, Steffy wandered down to the beach and got the shock of her life. Sunbathing a few feet away, toes in the sand, was the last person on earth she wanted to see. Sheila Carter, cue the record scratch. Steffy didn't hold back. She lit into Sheila immediately, ordering her to stay away and accusing her of stalking her and Finn all the way to Europe. It's not exactly a paranoid leap. This is, after all, a woman with a well-documented history of showing up uninvited. Sheila insisted she wasn't tailing anyone, claiming her flight home had simply been delayed and she decided to grab a bite and dip her feet in the water before heading back to Los Angeles. Steffy wasn't buying a word of it. Finn drops a bombshell of his own just when it seemed like the confrontation couldn't get worse. Finn stepped in to defend his birth mother and, in doing so, accidentally detonated a second crisis. He revealed that Sheila had been on his flight to Monaco the entire time and that he'd known about it and said nothing. Steffy's reaction was somewhere between disbelief and devastation. Her husband had spent an entire flight sitting near the woman who shot her, shot him, and shot his own mother, and he'd kept it from her. According to the scene, Finn tried to explain that he'd booked Sheila on the next flight out and was planning to tell Steffy when the time was right. Sheila backed him up, insisting Finn wasn't to blame and that she'd simply been trying to keep a low profile. None of it mattered. To Steffy, the damage was already done. We're done. Steffy walks away from her. Mari Ajathis is the moment fans are going to be talking about for weeks. Steffy reminded Finn, point blank, exactly who Sheila is and what she's done. She's the woman who shot Steffy, shot Finn, and shot Taylor. Being anywhere near her sends Steffy straight into survival mode. and she made it clear she can't live like that anymore. She told Finn flatly that they were finished, pulled off her wedding rings, and pushed them into his hands before walking away in tears. It's a gutting scene for a couple who has weathered kidnappings, shootings, and near-death experiences together and done, at least for now, not by Sheila's actions directly, but by Finn's silence. Finn, for his part, turned his fury on Sheila once the shock wore off, warning her to stay out of their lives for good. But the damage was already in motion. He raced back toward the spot where he and Steffy were supposed to reunite, hoping to catch her before she left. He didn't make it in time. When the bells rang out, Steffy was already gone, and it was Finn left standing alone, reliving the moment in reverse. By the time we catch up with Steffy again, she's on a plane headed back to Los Angeles alone, working through the whiplash of the last few hours, one glass of champagne at a time. 2 glasses, to be exact. Meanwhile, Brooke and Ridge get their own storm to weather while Steffi's world was falling apart on the beach. Brooke and Ridge were dealing with fallout of a different kind back at the hotel. The pair are still reeling from losing a long-time client, a blow they're placing squarely at the feet of Katie's fashion house. Between that setback and a fresh revelation involving a Logan family deal, Brooke's patience is wearing thin, and questions about the future of the youth line aren't helping her mood. Ridge, ever the strategist, decided the best move was to change the subject entirely. Rather than let the business drama swallow their trip, he leaned into romance, reassuring Brooke that whatever the press and the Logans are saying, the people who matter still love her. It's a classic Ridge move: charm first, damage control later, and it seems to have worked, at least for the moment. The two spent the afternoon leaning into each other instead of the chaos, blissfully unaware that just down the beach, their daughter's marriage was quietly falling apart. Back home, Daphne delivers her own gut punch. Monaco wasn't the only place hearts were breaking on Thursday. Back in Los Angeles, Daphne, Walton, and Carter faced a devastating conversation of their own. Daphne has been struggling to come to terms with a difficult fertility diagnosis, and on Thursday she finally opened up to Carter about how unfair and how painful the situation feels. She made it clear how much she loves him, even as she grapples with not being able to give him the family he's always wanted. Carter, trying to find a way forward, floated an idea that Daphne could still be the one to carry their child despite the obstacles. It's a tender scene on paper, but the emotional gravity of it doesn't fully land until Daphne makes a much bigger decision. She tells Carter she's leaving, heading back to Paris, for a couple that's felt steady compared to the chaos surrounding them. It's a gut-check moment that leaves Carter reeling right as his best friend, Finn, is dealing with a crisis of his own and ocean away. Where does everyone go from here? Thursday's episode leaves nearly every major relationship in Los Angeles and Monaco on shaky ground. Steffy and Finn's marriage is, for now, over, at least in Steffi's mind, and it's hard to imagine Finn accepting that outcome without a fight. Expect him to chase her back to LA the moment he can get a flight, armed with apologies and probably a renewed vow to finally cut Sheila out of his life for good. Whether Steffy is ready to hear it is a different question entirely. Sheila, meanwhile, is once again at the center of the storm without technically doing anything most viewers would call villainous this time around. She really was just trying to catch a flight. That's almost more unsettling for longtime fans, who know that Sheila rarely stays out of trouble for long, whether she means to or not. Some spoilers have even teased a scenario where Sheila ends up playing the unlikely hero if Steffy lands in danger, a twist that could complicate Finn's feelings toward his birth mother even further. Whether Steffy is ready to forgive that or not. Back home, Carter now has to process Daphne's departure while supporting Finn through a marital crisis, and Ridge and Brooke still have a business war with Katie's fashion house to deal with once the romance wears off. One thing's for sure, Monaco was supposed to be a fresh start for Steffy and Finn instead. It might have been the beginning of the end, unless Finn can find a way to prove, once and for all, that his loyalty lies with his wife and not his mother's second chances. Stay tuned to The Bold and the Beautiful. weekdays on CBS and Paramount Plus to see how the fallout unfolds.